How you doing, guys? Will here, back for another fight card prediction. I'm going to be breaking down UFC 170 from Las Vegas, Nevada, where Ronda Rousey defends her UFC Women's Bantamweight title against unbeaten Sara McMann. We've got a fight card coming up this upcoming weekend from Brazil. We've got Leo Machida against Gegard Mousasi with a lot of good fights on that card. Be sure to check that out. Before I go into breaking down these fights, I want to thank Kingdom MMA for putting my video on their website. Very much appreciated. Remember, everybody go check out their website. Go follow them on Twitter at Kingdom MMA and at kingdommma.co.uk. Thanks again, guys. As I say, we're going to get into this card from Las Vegas, where Rousey is defending her title against McMann. We're going to start this card. To be honest with you, it's not a great looking card. Some of the fights that have kind of been taken off have kind of hurt the card. Kabilov and Dos Anjos as well. And the card doesn't really look great, to be fair. There's a few fights on there. I think actually the preliminary card I think is going to be a really good card to watch. The 4 fights that they have in there. We've got some newcomers coming into the UFC here, but there is some fights that I'm really looking forward to, and some fighters I'm looking forward to seeing in the UFC octagon. But we're going to start all the way down in the lightweight division. We've got Ernest Chavez against Yostenis Cedeno, 2 newcomers to the UFC. Chavez is 6-0 and Cedeno is 9-2, I believe. Don't know much about them. I think I've watched maybe 1 fight of each. Not a hell of a lot to kind of go on. Cedeno, I think, is a little bit quicker and he hits a bit harder than Chavez. I just believe that it'll be a little bit too much for Chavez here, so I'm going to go Yostenis Cedeno by I'm going to go unanimous decision in the first fight of the night. Next up, we've got Rafaello Tractor Oliveira against Erik Koch. Still wondering why Rafaello Oliveira is still in the UFC. I think he's fought 7 times in the UFC and he's lost 5 of his 7 fights. So why the guy is still in there, I have no idea. He's lost 3 out of his last 4 as well. He lost to Gleison Tibau, Eve Edwards. His winning there was against Yoslande Escudero, and his last fight he lost via leg kicks to Edson Barbosa. Erik Koch, who's moving up to the UFC lightweight division, is coming off a 2-fight skid where he lost to recent challenger Ricardo Lamas, and he got lost by unanimous decision to Dustin the Diamond Poirier last time out. It'll be interesting to see Erik Koch up at 155. It's an unbelievable division up there. Very tough. I do believe this will be an easy fight for Erik Koch, and I think he will win it by TKO in the second in this fight. Next up, we've got Aljamain. We've got Lucas Martins versus Aljamain Sterling. Now, Aljamain Sterling is a guy that Ray Longo told me about last year in Manchester, and I've watched a few of his fights since. I've been following him. A very good fighter, 8-0. When he goes to the ground, you can see where the talent is with this kid. I think 4 of his 8 wins are by submission. I think he was the former CFA or the CFFC bantamweight champion. But Ray Longo told me this kid's got a lot of progression in the sport. He says he's got a lot to work on with his striking. Matt Serra said that if you haven't seen the video where Matt Serra said Chris Weidman was going to be a UFC champion in the future, go check it out. That came true. He also put out that he thinks Aljamain Sterling has all the potential in the world to become a UFC champion as well. So big praise coming from his trainer, which you'd expect. So he's kind of got a lot to live up to. He's against Lucas Martins here, who's coming off, I think, a 2-fight win, 2 wins in his last 2 fights, where he stopped Jeremy Lawson by KO in Brazil, and then he tapped out. He managed to submit Junior Hernandez last time out. He was due to face Brian Caraway in this fight. I thought that was a hard fight for him. This fight's going to be a little bit closer, but I like the newcomer in this fight. I like Aljamain Sterling. And I think if he gets him to the ground, he could submit Lucas Martins. So I'm going to go Aljamain Sterling by second round submission. Next up, we've got Zach Makovsky against Joshua Sampo. in the UFC flyweight division. Makovsky, a veteran of the sport, been around for a long time. This is his second fight in the UFC. He beat Scott Jorgensen last time out. A guy that kind of goes to decisions quite a lot, but he's very, very good in the ground. He'll get you down, he'll stifle you, he'll not let you do the things you really want to do. I like him in this fight against Joshua Sampo. This is his second fight in the UFC also, where he's coming off a win over Ryan Benoit. I like Zach Makovsky in this fight. I think he's just going to be a bit too durable. He will take Sampo down, he will keep him there, he will ground and pound him. I don't think he'll get a finish, but I think he will look very, very good in doing so, like he did against Scott Jorgensen. So I'm going to go Zach Makovsky by unanimous decision. We've got, I think this fight's going to be an undercard. It's going to be, where is it? Rafael Assuncao against Pedro Munhoz. Assuncao's right on there. If he probably wins this fight, he's possibly going to get himself a UFC title shot here. Coming off a win over TJ Dillashaw last time out. Personally, I had it for TJ. I thought he edged the fight. It was a very close fight, but I think I think it was in Brazil, he maybe got the decision. I like Dillashaw in that fight. I think Dillashaw should be up for the title next, but who knows? If he wins this fight against Munhoz here, he'll probably get the title shot as well. Pedro Munhoz, I think he's 10-0. If you haven't seen this guy, I watched quite a lot of the RFA events, and he's undefeated down in there, 10-0. I've seen him in these last few fights. Very, very decent fighter, but this is a big step up coming into a guy who's, I think he's third in the Bantamweight rankings. I'm going to go Rafael Assuncao again by decision. Munhoz, I think, he's quite a durable guy. He will last quite a long time. So I'm going to go Rafael Assuncao. I just think he's got enough to kind of win this fight easily and then move on and maybe get himself a title fight. Next up, women's bantamweight match. Possibly another one for the title that they could get a title shot through this fight. We've got Alexis Davis against Jessica Ai. Alexis Davis, she's won a couple of fights in the UFC, Rosie Sexton, and looked very, very good last time against Liz Carmouche. She wins this fight, I think she definitely gets a title shot, not unless Kat Zingano comes back, which I doubt's going to happen fairly soon. Jessica Ai is coming off a victory which changed to a no contest against Jessica Ai. She was popping the jab quite a lot in that fight, very, very good on her feet, nice movement, kind of in and out, and she was peppering Sarah Kaufman with punches and kind of busted Kaufman up a little bit. I like this fight. I think this is going to be one of these fights that kind of stands on the feet, and it's going to be a little bit of slugfest, goes to the ground. Alexis Davis, I think, has got more chance of kind of winning the fight from there, but Jessica Ai, she's submitted people before. She did it in Bellator with Frausto, I think she did. So yeah, I'm going to go, I think Alexis Davis' experience is going to come big in this fight, so I'm going to go Alexis Davis by unanimous decision as well. On to the main card, which is a pretty weak start, to be fair. We've got Robert Whittaker against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Now, Thompson looked great last time out. His wrestling looked on top form. He looked very, very, very good. I can't remember who he faced last time out. Chris Clements, of course, yeah, and then he went on to knock him out. Before that he beat Nishon Barrel. I like him in this fight. Robert Whittaker is a former tough winner. He's coming off a loss where he got lost to Court McGee by decision back in August last year, coming off a couple of wins over Brad Scott and Colton Smith. I just think he's going to be a little bit too good on the feet here for Whittaker. I'm not sure whether he'll knock Whittaker out. I think Whittaker's got a good chin on him. So I'm going to go Stephen Thompson by yet another decision. I think we're going to have a lot of decisions in this one. Next up, we've got Mike Pyle against TJ Waldburger. Veteran of the sport, Mike Pyle has faced a lot of top guys. He got knocked out last time against Matt Brown, who's just coming out and just bum rushing people and just knocking people out. Before that, he was on a really good win streak with wins over Story, Head, Josh Neer and Ricardo Funch. TJ Waldburger, I think he got violently knocked out by Adlan Amagov last time out, and it was horrible. It was a really, really bad KO. Mike Pyle is just going to have too much for TJ Waldburger here, and I'm going to go by knockout. I think he's going to knock him out in the second round. So Mike Pyle by knockout. Next in the card, we have got Rory MacDonald against Damian Maia here. Both guys coming off losses. Rory MacDonald coming off a really tough loss to Robbie Lawler last time. Damian Maia coming off a really close fight with Jake Shields, which personally I think I just gave it to Damian Maia. But it was one of them fights where whatever way it went, you couldn't really go against either one. I think we're going to see a new Rory MacDonald here. I think he's a guy that's got to take more chances. He's got the power to knock people out, hurt people a lot more when he goes to the ground. He doesn't want to go to the ground with Maia because Maia can just catch you at any point. So he has to come out aggressive on his feet here, which I believe he can do. He always creates a lot of distance with his striking, kind of getting in and out. Maia's not great on his feet. He's improved over the last few years, but MacDonald can take chances in this fight and throw things. And I believe that Rory MacDonald will knock him out in this fight as well. So I'm going to go, and I believe he can do it early. I think he'll do it first round. So Rory MacDonald by first round knockout. The co-main event of the night is a really, really interesting fight. We've got Rashad Evans, the former UFC light heavyweight champion, against Daniel Cormier, the Strikeforce Grand Prix champion, who's just coming down from the heavyweight division where he never lost up there. But he's coming down to probably his better weight class. Now, this Daniel Cormier is going to be a beast. I love this fight. If he gets past Rashad Evans, I think he's just in behind Alexander Gustafsson for a title shot. Wins over Frank Mir and Roy Nelson in the UFC. Rashad Evans, he looked great last time against Chael Sonnen. We all know about Daniel Cormier's wrestling here. Rashad Evans, I don't think it's going to take him down. We're going to have to see the Rashad of a few years ago where he was dynamite on his feet and he was hurting people. Daniel Cormier is also a great striker, so he could hurt Rashad Evans in this fight, I believe. I've been kind of looking at this fight quite closely. Rashad Evans is, for the fact it's just Rashad Evans, he's putting me off. Any other time I'd pick Daniel Cormier, but there's something about this fight with Rashad Evans. I think he's going to show up and show the world what he is, and he's a former champion and he's back in the title hunt for a reason. But my head's kind of come into this one. I think I'm going to pick Daniel Cormier. I reckon he can get a decision, but I'm actually going to go with a late knockout in the third. So Daniel Cormier by TKO in the third. So we're on to the main event of the night. A quick turnaround for Ronda Rousey against Sara McMann. Both Olympic medalists in their chosen sports of judo and wrestling. Ronda Rousey, she's been dominant since she went to UFC with a couple of wins. She's been dominant in her MMA career, to be fair. She's won every fight via armbar. Had her toughest fight to date last time against Miesha Tate. Still got the job done. Still looked great doing it. Still got to see some of her judo skills in the fight. You got to see her ever improving stand up in that fight. I believe we'll see even more in this fight. I believe she doesn't need to really worry about the takedowns as much, because I think she can negate Sara McMann's takedowns. But if there's anybody that's going to take her down and keep her there, it's going to be Sara McMann. So very, very interesting fight. Sara McMann, I think she's a little bit rushed for this, but there's nobody else in line really to face Ronda Rousey. I think she's 6-0 in her young MMA career. She's fought Baszler, Sheila Gaff. She's got wins coming out off it to get this fight. I would like to see a bit more from Ronda Rousey in this fight. I hope we get to see it, but I'm going to pick Ronda Rousey again. I don't think Sara McMann can stop the armbar. Basically, once she gets her way down in the ground, I think she's just a bit too advanced in the kind of jiu-jitsu stakes of the fight to get hurt by Sara McMann. So I'm going to go Ronda Rousey by I reckon I'll hit third round, and she will get caught. She'll win by the armbar again. So that's my picks for UFC 170. Not the greatest card. I will be watching it, no doubt. I don't miss many cards. A few fighters on there. I really want to people to look out for Aljamain Sterling, because I think this guy he's got a big future in the sport. So that's my picks there. I'll be back. I think I might do one for London before I head down to watch the events down there at the O2 Arena. I'm looking forward to that. So I'll probably have one out in a couple of weeks before I head down the road to England. So come follow me on Twitter, BigBilber7MMA, and go follow the guys at Kingdom MMA on Twitter, and go check out their website once again. So thank you very much for watching. Take care. I'll be back in a few weeks. All the best.